Review copy provided by Nintendo. Luigi's Mansion 3 is easily one of the most charming, heartwarming, and just feel-good games of this year. Luigi's third ghostly outing proves that the lovable plumber still has some unexplored charm to him, both in terms of presentation and gameplay. Combining what worked well both in Dark Moon and the original game, Luigi's Mansion 3 excels at delivering an enchanting adventure. Despite the title being Luigi's Mansion, this entry has us exploring a large 17-floored hotel, but don't let logistics get in the way of the fun. Luigi and his friends have been invited for a vacation to a large and beautiful looking hotel. Unbeknownst to them, despite this pretty much happening all the time at this point, it's another elaborate trap. Now it's up to Luigi once again to use his trusty poltergust to capture the ghost in the hotel and get to the bottom of who's behind this scheme. As far as writing goes, it's a pretty bare-bones story, but what really captivated me were the little touches of personality and charm throughout Luigi's Mansion 3. It's rare for a Mario or Mario Brothers themed game to feature any certain personality for the characters. This entry tackles that head on. From the English gibberish between Mario and Luigi or just Luigi petting his polterpup, I couldn't help but keep a smile on my face the whole time.
Night night. Night night. Happy. Polterpup.
With all due respect to the Mario IP, these characters outside of a few of their RPG adventures have been mostly blank feeling characters. Luigi's Mansion 3 changes all that though in subtle environment storytelling like Mario's food pack themed room or Luigi's little mannerisms when he gets scared. There are minute details but ones that went a long way and had me chuckling along the whole 13-hour story. If you played a Luigi's Mansion game before, you'll be somewhat familiar with the gameplay structure here. Luigi's Mansion 3 combines the themed bosses of the first Luigi's Mansion and some of the combat updates and multiplayer of Dark Moon. The end result is the best of both entries for the best Luigi's Mansion game yet. After completing a small introduction to the game's mechanics and characters, you'll be given your classic poltergust. You use this super-powered vacuum to suck up ghosts that might be lurking throughout the hotel. The same combat structure from before is here. That's you using your flashlight to stun a ghost and then using the vacuum to suck them up. Additionally though, the black light from Dark Moon is back that reveals hidden objects in the environment. Aside from remixes of the first two entries, Luigi's Mansion 3 adds its own unique features to help flesh out the combat. Luigi can now shoot plungers at objects and enemies holding shields. This lets Luigi suck up the plunger to either slam objects, remove shields, or just tug on obstacles. That slamming mechanic can also be used on enemies to now chain together combos and continue a ghost-busting thread. Pressing ZR and ZL together activates a vacuum jump that shrugs off nearby enemies while also destroying weak objects near you. These new moves felt refreshing at first, but did start to feel a bit repetitive towards the end of the campaign. A bit of variety is done through the environment both in terms of combat and puzzles. Simple find this key to open this thing puzzles fleshed out to more exploration focused puzzles by the end of the game. Using the diorama-like design of rooms that came from the first Luigi's Mansion originally being designed as a 3D game, puzzles hide collectible gems, money, and other objects where the camera can't see them. For example, a chest that you can't see unless you look at a well-placed mirror's reflection. It definitely kept me on alert when exploring every new room. Aside from the puzzles, the new environments continue to evolve with amazingly new themes between every floor. These brought on more challenging puzzles and ghost bosses. Throughout the campaign are also gems to collect for the completionists out there, as well as challenges. Since Nintendo doesn't have an achievement system for the Switch, these are built into the game itself. They're not as satisfying as a system-wide achievement system, but having them there was a nice touch. I just wish that all the money I collected could have been used to buy some cosmetics or a costume for Luigi because outside of some extra lives, they somewhat fell meaningless by the end of the story. There to help you along the way is Luigi. He's a clone of Luigi, although because he's made of slime, he can go through fences and spiked objects, though he dissolves instantly when he touches water. In the campaign, this helps introduce fun new endgame puzzles and adding co-op to the campaign. The problem with that is that if you don't have someone around, you'll be forced to switch between both characters by yourself, and it's clear that some of these levels weren't exactly meant for solo play. Speaking of co-op play, there is a separate multiplayer mode that works both online and locally. This is split between the Scare Scraper that has multiple Luigis competing for the most ghost captures, while Scream Park is a collection of minigames like something at a Mario Party. Like the remake of Ratchet & Clank, Luigi's Mansion 3 does a marvelous job at creating a presentation that could easily be confused for an animated film. It's simply on another level when compared to the rest of Nintendo's first-party lineup. If someone were to tell me that the cutscenes in this game were an indication of the quality we could expect from the upcoming Mario animated movie, then I'd be ecstatic. It's that good. Luigi's overalls have an actual texture to them, while the lighting system shines through the hotel to create both a bright and spooky atmosphere depending on the situation. In actual gameplay, little is lost in terms of quality when compared to the cutscenes. Walking through the dusty halls of this hotel, you can make out the particles of what would be years of abandoned rooms. Shining your flashlight directly at the screen casts a lens flare as if you were in control of the camera. The shine of coated tiled floor on the laundry room casts reflections as Luigi scoots over them. Perhaps the thing that sticks out the most visually is the use of physics happening with the environment. Luigi can interact with just about everything in the world. A piece of food, a candle, a barrel, a bench, anything you can essentially be around with. In chaotic ghost battles, it can be a lot of fun to destroy the room. Regarding performance, Luigi's Mansion 3 runs beautifully on the Nintendo Switch, whether that's in dock or in handheld mode. In dock mode, resolution scales up to 1080p, while in gameplay with a consistent 30 frames per second, outside of the occasional drop when autosaving. It should be noted that the heavier graphical cutscenes tend to drop the resolution to 900p, though the downgrade is dismissible when in action. As for handheld, the gameplay runs at 720p with some loss in shadow quality and texture filtering, though on the Switch, especially on the Switch Lite display, it's hardly noticeable when playing. Just like in dock mode, 30 FPS is a target here and it's met for the most part. All in all, Luigi's Mansion 3 surprised me with not only how well it looked, but how well it performed. It raises the bar for Nintendo's first-party lineup. If I haven't gushed enough about Luigi's Mansion 3's presentation, it's only going to get increased by talking about the music. With 17 floors across the hotel, you can expect a wide range of different musical offerings for each floor. Usually the music matches the theme of said room, whether it's the Hollywood movie set or maybe the medieval times area. Either way, you'll find some charming tunes here, with some of my personal favorites being the introduction music that plays right before things get chaotic. There's something just so lovable about seeing Luigi have a chill life with his pet ghost dog. The music helps set the scene, at least until ghosts ruin it. Sound design and voice work are also handled incredibly well. The small physics details I mentioned earlier, well, they all have some sort of sound attached to them, whether it's destroying a bunch of fruit or just playing with the balls on the pool table. Having well choreographed sound to these small actions only help further sell on the realism of the world. Sprinkled on top of all this are Luigi's little reactions to everything that just feel like the cherry on top. Hearing his classic worried call for his brother or just him reacting to a jump scare, I was instantly entertained. To be honest, I came into Luigi's Mansion 3 expecting to like it. I enjoyed the last two entries for the most part, and I had faith that the third would do the same. What I didn't expect was to be blown away by it, making it a contender for my game of the year. Luigi's Mansion 3 is a wholesome adventure that combines the first one's themed bosses with Dark Moon's new features and multiplayer, all while adding on some evolving puzzles and combat through the environment. It's a testament to the level of quality Nintendo sets for its first-party games, and it gets me excited to see the sequels of Nintendo's more obscure IPs on the Switch.